And welcome back inside the cave on this Tuesday morning. Pat Hayes, Jeff Bowman with you. And of course at 7:25 we call on Tom Crawford from the Crawford Podcasting Network. And Tom, just 25 days left till kickoff. Can't wait.
It seems like every week we're just counting down the days, trying to get those to dwindle by sevens, right? And we are so into it. And, camp opened last Wednesday, and contact work has come out, and I was on, typically I try to get down for that first coordinator's press conference, but I'm thinking my first trip to Ann Arbor will be the 30th, and then I'll be flowing by then, but on a regular basis down there. But it was inspiring. I think we both heard the coordinator interviews, and we're excited, don't you think, about this Michigan football team?
We are absolutely excited, and interesting comments by both of these coaches, and both of them seem to be very close. They must have coached before with each other, very comfortable with each other. I know they play golf quite a bit, and they had quite a bit to say about the team, and pretty much centered around the fundamentals of football. That's where we're starting, and trying to build them up from there.
Yeah, they do all the installs. It's one step at a time. Bringing the young guys along. There's a few young guys that are going to play prominent roles. And I don't know if you heard the Giovanni El-Hadi interview talking about that freshman tackle Andrew Babalola, from the kid from Kansas. I hear about that kid over and over and over. So, the freshman lineman, offensive lineman is an anomaly. That rarely happens. Bo Schembechler teams, not to go back to the old days all the time, it almost took the third year for an offensive lineman to be in a starting role, and redshirt sophomore or whatever. And, wow, this guy seems like the real deal. And just when you have a veteran like El-Hadi talk about him like that, you feel better about the offensive line, because that's my main concern. But, yeah, I think there's that reference, complementary football. Complementary football is an overused term, but there's a lot of phases of it. Complementary football, having a good playing game leads to a good defense, all that kind of stuff. But part of a complementary football they referenced was coaches getting along. And it seems like those two coordinators get along together. And I think that's important because, they can help each other. They got really instrumental roles on that team. And it didn't, you go 20, 30 years back, guys, the offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator didn't have the name recognition that they do now. Now everybody knows who the coordinators are for the prominent teams in college football.
Yeah, it is a big difference. Back in the day, it was, everything started at the top and went through there, and you didn't hear a whole lot about who those people were.
No.
Unless it was a really big mistake.
Yeah, those are, because each of those coordinators have their own identity. For example, and this is, I don't mean to pick on Don Brown, but Don Brown's identity, we're going to go press coverage, mano, and I'm not, he was not flexible. He was old school. We're going to do it this way, and look how he got burned in that. I think it was that 2018 Ohio State game down in Columbus. So, yeah, I think, hearing these two guys, and as far as Wink Martindale, he came in. He's obviously Chip is new, but he came in, and there was this stigma. He screwed up for the Giants. They wanted him out of there, and you think about those last two games with Ohio State and Alabama that Michigan won on defense alone. That was Wink Martindale, and that was the amount of quarterback pressures they got in those two games was amazing.
Well, one thing that I liked that both coaches talked about, the complementary football, as you just said. Chip says, well, hey, why don't you run this defense while we run this play, and vice versa. You run this defense. And so these guys are talking back and forth to each other. So that quarterback room is going to get a workout with this defense, which is being highly touted so far this season.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited about the defense. I mean, defense has been the mainstay. I mean, like I said, defense, salvaged the season. I mean, 8-5 ended up being pretty good. I mean, remember we sat down there before the Northwestern game and like, where's the season going? That was week 11, and they won that game. And then they won, they won the Big Two at the end. But I remember that conversation. I mean, I don't think we were all that optimistic, Pat. You and I.
Yeah.
Headed into that game, and they won that game, and that's when the defense started to really mesh. But when you look at TJ Guy and Derek Moore, the two edge guys, I mean, there could be a lot. They could cause havoc, I think, on a lot of teams. I mean, Demo, as they call him, number 8. I mean, he is. We know how good he is. He's also brash. We talked about that video last week.
Yeah.
Whipping down on Michigan State with his belt already. And Jayshawn Barnum and Mike and Hausman. I mean, I'm super excited about the linebacking core, the edge rush. The big deal, though, and this has been the concern, is the secondary, where there's a lack of depth. And because Rod Moore, I don't know if you read between the lines, talking to Wink about, or hearing Wink talk about that. It's on his. I mean, this is a long recovery Rod Moore has gone through.
Yeah. Also, do you think, Tom, that this defense is going to be better than last year's?
Well, that's a great question. I think so because there's more experience. I mean, they're adjusting the coaching staff a little bit more. And I think they got some. Obviously, the Metcalf. TJ at strong safety and at that nickelback, and Travis. They got some dudes in there that I think, like I said, not a lot of depth, but they got some talent. And then Zeke Berry could end up having a really good year too. And Jerry Hill. They got some names in there we can count on, but Michigan needs some depth in there in that rotation. They have depth on the defensive line, and they're running 8 guys last year. That's important. But in the secondary, I don't think they have the capacity to do that so far.
Well, Tom, we got a question that came in on our Hometown Pizza text line this morning, and the question was, if Bryce Underwood doesn't win the starting job right away, will we see Mikey Keene or Jaden Davis at the quarterback spot against New Mexico?
I think Mikey Keene would be that guy. I'm telling you what, Mikey Keene, if he didn't get hurt and miss that spring game, who knows how competitive the quarterback battle would be. When you think about it, we saw him play personally. He's Fresno State. He's a good player and experienced, and you can't overvalue experience. And Bryce Underwood, even though we learned all these crazy things, like he can throw a ball 50 yards with his left hand, stuff like that. Crazy freak athlete. He's right-handed. It's amazing that it's natural for everybody to think, oh my, he's a $10 million quarterback. He's going to play right from day one. That might be a week 3, week 4 emergence in there when he plays. I think Mikey Keene's going to play a lot in game 1, and I think he'll play a lot in game 2 down in Norman, Oklahoma. I really do. I think that's a lot to ask Bryce Underwood to jump in there as a true freshman, even though he had incredible coaches in high school and he's a freak athlete. Man, that's going to be. Don't you guys think that both of them are going to play?
Oh, absolutely. I think so. But after that, I don't think there's much to choose from.
After those two guys?
Yeah. I don't.
Well, they got Garcia. They got the transfer. Who's got experience? Jake Garcia. I don't know. All you need is one good quarterback if you can keep them healthy, and to get in the flow. I think more importantly, though, than the quarterback situation is that offensive line keeping that quarterback clean, if you will. Where he's not going to get those quarterback pressures, and that running game has got to emerge this year. And I think they have the running backs, to do that. And they got big Max Bredesen up there at fullback, who's just tearing them up. But between Justice Haynes and Jordan Marshall and that rotation, I think that, that's good. But once again, we talked offline about that offensive line. I mean, that's the key on the left side with Evan Link and Giovanni Alhadi. That's cool. Keep him protected. But what's going to happen on the right side and having that true freshman in there at right tackle, is that going to happen? And what's the learning curve on that going to be?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. Well, Tom, the college football preseason coaches poll is out. They picked Texas to be number 1. And then Big Ten teams, Ohio State 2, Penn State 3rd, Oregon 7th, Illinois 12th, and Michigan 14th. Do you think that's a pretty good...
I love it. I love it.
Starting out low.
No, I mean, 14th is perfect. It's like when you're running the Kentucky Derby. You want to hang back for a while before you make your run, right?
Yep.
All the winners, they seem to... of the Kentucky Derby, they're sitting there at 6th or 8th, the second pole, and then Brownie, then down the stretch they come and they come out of nowhere, right? That's Michigan, in my mind. And I think by the end of the year, it will be a physical football team and serve that up to the opposition. That's when you really want to get super physical in late October and November, and I think they will. But I love it that they're disrespected and respected at the same time. I mean, they lost a lot. They lost 2 incredible players on defense. They have a freshman quarterback, and they're still ranked 14th in the nation. I mean, that says something. And yet they're 5th. I mean, you got Illinois in front of them. I love Illinois ranked ahead of them because I think Illinois is overhyped for some reason. I don't know why. And then look at Penn State. Ohio State, Penn State 2 and 3. And then I go back to week number 1, Ohio State hosting Texas in Columbus on week number 1. I mean, college game day, big new kick. Oh, my God, can you imagine Lee Corso's last game and game? We get to watch that. And then, Pat, you take your little nap, and then you go to Ann Arbor for the night game in New Mexico.
There you go. Do you think Texas and Arch Manning deserve to be at number 1?
Oh, they got a lot of talent. I get caught up in this, they're due. I mean, Texas has been
way overdue.
Program. Way overdue. I mean, Vince Young's a long time ago. That's hovering close to 20 years now. And they've had a lot of talent. We talked about their NIL money, that purse at $40 million. I mean, there's no excuse for Texas not to be in the hunt for the national title every year on personnel alone. And they've done fairly well as a program on the road. And noon in Columbus, Labor Day weekend, will be hot. And that will be to Texas's favor as much as it will be to Ohio State. I like Texas winning that game. I really don't care who wins, but because I see pluses on both sides, but I think Texas is going to win that football game and be the front runner for the national title throughout the year.
Tom, a couple of other questions here for you. The NCAA has said that they are not going to expand the basketball tournament to 72 to 76 games. What's your impressions on that?
I like it personally, I know in college basketball there's 317 plus teams. I think, where it sits right now is perfect. Why do you have to tweak with something that's ideal? I mean, the NCAA tournament is, my God, it's the greatest event athletically there is in the country. And so why mess with it? I think it's ideal as it sits right now.
All right. Another important subject here coming up next Tuesday is the hospitality preview by Sodexo at Michigan Stadium. Are you going to be going to that, Tom?
I'm not. You went with that. We went to that both last year.
We did.
Okay. I read between the lines. I mean, they're just looking for publicity.
Yeah, for sure.
Types of thing. It's funny because Dave Abloff, he goes, there's one thing that is a sure bet in life is that when I throw out a press invite for media where food is involved, I get a big turnout, and that's what I.
No question about it. All right, Tom.
Oh,
What's our Michigan memory for today?
Oh God, I've been thinking about this game. I'm thinking about the loudest I remember Michigan Stadium, and I remember the 2004, the triple overtime game, Michigan State, when they finally won that. That was a crazy game. But I'm going back to 2005, the Mario Manningham touchdown from Chad Henne with no time remaining. And if you're to win 27-25, Penn State was ranked 8th in the country, and Michigan had, I'm not even. I just remember that was a big win for Michigan. I'm not sure what Michigan was ranked, but that was 2005 was an up and down season. But man, that was a great win. And if you remember, Lloyd Carr had lobbied at one of the timeouts for an additional second on the clock. And there was 1 second to go when Chad Henne hit Mario Manningham on that touchdown.
I do remember that.
On that. You remember? So that 1 second made the difference in that game.